Okay, it's January 24th, 2018. It's the first event of the year, folks. I'm back. Yep, so we gotta get started here. We have a lot of catching up to do. We got a lot to talk about. Maybe. We'll see how it goes. Here we go. Alright, that's enough of that. That was the theme song to Third Rock from the Sun. You guys remember that show? Yeah. If you don't, it was from the 90s. It was about a bunch of aliens that came to Earth and learned their ways and the culture in some obscure town in Ohio. Yep, that's what that is. And I during my time off quote, I watched the whole series of that, and that was a thrill because I didn't watch the whole series in its first run. I watched the first two seasons, and that was it. But I caught up with the rest just this week, actually, or over the last couple weeks. And yeah, I missed the show. I was sad to see it go. Yep, but that's that shows get canceled. That's the way it goes. That's the way of the beast. Now, excuse me, I need to burp. I should edit that out, but I'm not going to. I'm not going to censor myself. That's the motto here. All right, so what are we going to talk about today? Let's go into my comfort zone. Yep. All right, let me invite you into my comfort zone. Movies. I haven't really talked about movies on Vent very much. I'm always talking about current events. But there's so many current events, and they're largely forgotten, and some of them stick. Some of them keep coming up time and time again. And I don't want to talk about all that stuff right now. Let's talk about movies. Big news week for movies. The Academy Award nominations came out. And I'm not really as enthused about the Oscars as I used to be when I was younger. Now I see it's just like, it's just a political thing, and if you campaign the most, well, it's a mixture of merit and campaigning. It's like your movie can have the merit, but you also have to have the campaigning to back it up, and that's exhaustive. That's exhausting. But there were movies out there that did it, and they campaigned for their awards, and they got nominations. So let's see, what movies were nominated. I can tell you right now, I haven't seen all of them. I used to be a stickler for that. I was like, I wanted to see all the possible nominated movies before the end of the year, and that's just impossible now. It's impossible for me to do that, especially with the state I live in now, because if you ever see that a movie has a limited release, it's not limited to where I live. So I gotta wait for it to come on video and Netflix or Amazon it, Hulu it, but that's about it there. So, but what is nominated, huh? What's nominated here? Like, I could tell you that I think I've only seen 2 movies that are nominated here. Let me just bring up the nominees here on my trusty Google account. All right. So, for Best Picture, we got The Shape of Water with the Guillermo del Toro Black Lagoon fan fiction movie. I didn't see it. I heard it's really good though. Shape of Water. We got The Shape of Water, Darkest Hour, the I can't. What the hell is the dude's name? Oh man, my history is hazy right now when I'm on the spot. Winston Churchill, the Winston Churchill movie, Darkest Hour. The World War II movie Dunkirk, which kind of coincides with the setting of Darkest Hour, so that sounds like a pretty kick-ass double feature there. You watch Darkest Hour and Dunkirk. I think you would probably watch Darkest Hour first, because that's probably the slower of the two. Dunkirk moves pretty fast. So we got Shape of Water, Darkest Hour, Dunkirk, Phantom Thread. P.T. Anderson is on the list again. Alright, it's first big nominated movie since There Will Be Blood. So, I heard it was really boring. And it looked really boring. But I still want to see it. It looks elegant and understated, to say the least. And I don't know if I don't know if I was, I'm not too keen on the understated Paul Thomas Anderson. I mean, I really like The Master, but it was missing that There Will Be Blood feeling that made There Will Be Blood a classic, and it seemed like it was going to go there, but it never went there. And likewise with Inherent Vice, well, less so with Inherent Vice, because unlike The Master, I haven't felt the urge to watch Inherent Vice again. I plan to. I think I've tried once, and that didn't work out. And I didn't even watch Inherent Vice in one sitting. I had to watch it in 2 sittings. So I got to give it a chance. I got to see if it'll improve itself upon a second viewing. But yeah, But I'm excited about Phantom Thread, despite how slow it may be. I mean, it's Daniel Day-Lewis in his alleged final performance, so you can't miss it. You can't miss it. Now, here's a movie that I could probably get away with missing. 3 Billboards Outside of Ebbing, Missouri is also nominated, and that appears to be sweeping the awards. But I've heard a lot of detractors, and it just sounds like a movie that tries too hard. And it tries so hard to be good. And I have no opinion of it, it's just the opinion I've seen. Like, I'll watch it maybe, eventually. You know? But I'm not really excited about it. And the title's fucking terrible. 3 Billboards Outside Ebbing, Missouri. If you have to put a comma in your title, then you need a new title. That's kind of my rule there. All right, and then here, people should be excited for this. Get Out is nominated for Best Picture. How about that? Get Out. I like Get Out. I don't know if I like it as much as everyone else does. It's a really good movie though, and it's cool that it's nominated, and it'll be cool if it wins too. Even though I didn't like it that much, and it's so that would be the second movie I saw of the 9 Best Picture nominees. They can nominate up to 10, but they always end up with 9. I don't know why that is. I wonder what the Phantom 10th movie is, because it's definitely not Phantom Thread, and I doubt it was Disaster Artist. Well, maybe it was. Who knows? I mean, that got only 1 nomination, so it's doubtful. We'll always wonder what that Phantom 10th movie will be. So after Get Out, we got The Post, Spielberg, of course. Everyone was expecting that one. Call Me by Your Name, which is the token homosexual drama, I believe. It has the Winklevoss twins, or the guy that played the Winklevi, but he's just playing one person in this. And then last, the 9th movie nominated for Best Picture is Lady Bird, which is female Moonlight, I guess. I don't know. I'm not. I heard that was good, but I'm not excited about that either. So of these 9 movies that are nominated for Best Picture, I have only seen 2 of them so far. I've seen Dunkirk and Get Out. And if I had to choose between the 2, my vote would go. It'd be cool if Get Out wins, but I'm a Dunkirk guy all the way. I don't think anything else could probably change my opinion there, because Dunkirk was an experience. It was. I'll tell you, it's better the second time you watch it. If you watch it the first time, it's kind of like a drag, because you don't get to know any of the characters, and there's no backstories, and it's just about the moment in time. And when you watch it again, you can kind of create your own backstories for these characters just based on who they are and how they interact with each other, you know? But what I thought was interesting is people, like, a lot of the criticisms aimed towards Dunkirk was that the characters weren't fully realized, but that's kind of the point, you know? You're not going to really get to know anyone if you're worried about Germans killing you at every moment, you know? If you're stuck on a beach and just, the bombs could drop at any moment, you're not gonna get to know the dude next to you. You just gotta make sure, the man next to you is alright, and that you're alright, and it's like that brotherhood of war, that kind of thing. Um, but what was interesting, and I didn't really realize it until the second time I watched it, is you don't have to get to know the characters in Dunkirk because you know about as much about these characters as they know about each other. So it almost makes you feel like you're just another soldier on that beach. So as far as direction goes, just hand the fucking award to Christopher Nolan right now. Just hand it off to him because this is the best directed movie of the year, bar none. Um, but I don't know if it's the best movie of the year. I haven't seen all these movies, but I prefer Dunkirk to Get Out. But I really, yeah. So far, that's probably the best movie I saw from 2017, Dunkirk. Close second was probably Baby Driver. I had some issues with the story in Baby Driver, but it is the best edited movie of 2017. And it did get its rightful editing nomination. And I was like, I was going to be pissed. I was like, Baby Driver better have gotten that editing nomination because it's going to win it. Like, it's in the bag there. And you don't really have to campaign for that because Baby Driver is definitely the best edited movie of the year. Just the way the soundtrack harmonizes with the action on the screen, and it's just wow, it's awesome. It's an awesome movie. I love it. My third favorite movie of the year did not get any nominations, nor does it's not really that well known yet, but I think it's going to be. It's going to gain a really large cult following, and that's Brawl and Cell Block 99. Brawl and Cell Block 99 was the surprise of the year for me. I thought it looked pretty cool when I saw the trailer, and then I watched the movie, and I'm like, this movie's on a whole other level. This is, like, the writer-director of that movie, S. Craig Zahler, has kind of become now my new spirit animal as far as writing and directing is concerned, because this guy does it all. He's a musician, he is a novelist, and he is a writer-director, and he's written and directed 2 movies. He got Brawl and Cell Block 99, and then a couple years ago, he came out with Bone Tomahawk. And I heard about Bone Tomahawk, and I was like, this might be a pretty cool movie to watch sometime. But as soon as I finished Brawl and Cell Block 99, I had to find out what else this guy did, and I found out he was the guy that did Bone Tomahawk. I didn't realize it at the time, so I was like, okay, I gotta watch Bone Tomahawk. And so I watched it immediately after, and it was an amazing double feature. And Bone Tomahawk is definitely the most authentic Western since Unforgiven, I think. Like, most authentic. It just feels like it was made for that time. And it's so good. But it's also one of the most disturbing and unrelentingly grim horror movies I've ever seen. There's a scene somewhere after the beginning of the third act, and I can't even describe. You have to experience it for yourself. You just have to see this shit. It is. My wife had to leave the room. Like, if you can handle it, if you can stomach it, it's one of the most realistic pieces of gore cinema I've ever seen. It's unbelievable. Excuse me. Just yeah. So yeah. So it was kind of sad that that movie was Brawl and Cell 99 was completely shut out, but I don't think the movie campaigned. I think if they campaigned for Vince Vaughn getting a Best Actor nom, I think he might have been able to get it. Wouldn't have won it, but he might have been able to get it because this just changes. That movie changes the way you look at Vince Vaughn, and it's just a shame that that this movie hasn't popped up in any of the awards threads. It's just I'm sure they won some independent awards and festival awards, but as far as the big ones, yeah, nowhere to be found. Nowhere to be found. But yeah, those are my opinions there. And triple congrats to Jordan Peele. Yeah, I never would have thought that this guy would be nominated for 3 Academy Awards in one shot. He's got the directing nod, he's got the Best Producer nod for the Best Picture, and of course he has the Best Screenplay nomination. And he'll get at least one of those. I think original. If it doesn't win Best Picture, it'll win Original Screenplay. I think it would kind of have to, as like consolation. And especially since it has captured the hearts and minds of way more audiences than I think this film ever would. I just don't know. It must have been good marketing or good word of mouth or both. I don't know. I don't know how this movie became as big as it is, because it came out way early in 2017, way early. It's like early enough to be considered for awards back then, but I think it was just on the wire. It came out like in February, and it just blew up, and people were seeing it and telling me about it, and eventually I got around to watching it, and I'm like, yeah, it's pretty good. But I'll tell you, I like Split more. I was, yeah, and that movie was shut out too. So Split, I saw Split, and that movie was pretty creepy. I was like, that's it's like M Night Shyamalan's back in the game. He's totally back in the game. So that's nice to know that he's making great movies again, because James McAvoy, like, that was his movie and he sold it. Sold it. Like, where was his AFTY nomination? And speaking of snubs, what about James Franco, man? I mean, I haven't seen The Disaster Artist yet, but I know all about The Room, and I read the screenplay to The Disaster Artist when it was available for download, for your consideration. That's one of the campaigning techniques. So I downloaded the screenplay and I read that, and it was just like watching a movie. It was, I mean, it's exactly how I imagined the movie to be. So it was a well-written script, and that is nominated for adapted screenplay, and I think it should maybe get it. I don't know. I haven't read the other ones. But yeah, no best actor for James Franco. But Gary Oldman's gonna win it for playing Winston Churchill anyway, so it didn't really matter. I guess it's an honor just to be nominated. But man, those allegations that came out as soon as he won his Golden Globe. I mean, I have no opinion on that. It's similar to my opinion on the whole, like, Aziz Ansari allegations that came out. Like, it's like I'm kind of offended by them. It's like, because I'm totally on Franco's side, but it's like, how dare these stories come out, and it's like you're just trying to, like, sacrifice one person a week, and it's like, yes, this Time's Up thing, it's a discussion that needs to be had, and changes need to be made, and no, the changes have happened, and some big changes just in the span of a few months, and more changes are coming. But I was trying to come up with, like, trying to reach a political conclusion as far as these sexual harassment allegations, but I'm like, you know what? I'm just gonna leave it lie right now. I'm just gonna leave it lie. There's nothing I can do about it. All I can do is talk about it. Everyone could just talk about it. And what the real conversation is, just, we need to clearly identify what oh man, I had a clever argument there. But essentially, it's like, we need to clearly define what the proper dynamic is between men and women. And I guess there's some blurred lines there. I guess guys don't realize you're not supposed to smack a woman on the ass and put your arm around her and shit like that. It's like go by Hitch rules, all right? You go 90%, she comes 10%. If you go that 90% and she don't come to 10%, don't go the other 10. Come on. Yeah, so Hitch rules, people. Hitch rules. You want to, that movie clearly defined the dynamic between men and women. You lean in 90%, she leans in 10. 90, 10. There we go. So, all right, that's my opinion on the matter, guys. All right, my legendary silence has been broken on my feelings about all these harassments, but as far as the individuals involved in them, I can only take so much hearsay, I can only take so much hearsay, and I don't consider that victim shaming or being a rape apologist or anything like that. I just think there's only so much I can hear before I have to be all like, okay, I've heard enough, and go on my weary way and just like the shit I'm gonna like. I'm gonna like the shit I'm gonna like. I'm only thankful right now that there's no Woody Allen movies in my DVD collection. Oh shit, there is. Well, Match Point. Match Point doesn't count because that barely qualifies as a Woody Allen movie. It doesn't even feel like a Woody Allen movie most of the time because it's not about the normal Woody Allen things really. It's more of a character study of a total dick of a British asshole, and it's great because of it. But that's the only Woody Allen movie in my collection, and now I'll never be able to watch it again. I've only seen it once, but I have the DVD, but I'm not gonna burn my DVD like it's Fahrenheit 451 or something. It's not gonna happen there. But it's like if Woody molested his adopted daughter, shame on him. Yep, shame on him for that. And then a lot of reputable sources say that he in fact did, and it is still hearsay, but everyone's pretty much leaning all the way, and I was leaning that way back in the day. I even wrote. I even had to write a personal journal entry trying to come to terms with it because I always admired Woody Allen's work, but I can't admire it anymore because of where it stems from. It's you can't really support it. It's not right in a moral sense. Artistically speaking, then yes, he's brilliant, and so is Roman Polanski and all these other dudes. But it's just sometimes you just gotta you gotta put your foot down. Make a decision. It's but I'll say right here and now, I will never work with Woody Allen. How's that? It's not like I was ever going to in the first place, but you never know what opportunities come up. But I will never work with Woody Allen if the opportunity arose. If that opportunity came up, I would be like, you got anyone less scandalous that I can maybe do a movie with? Yeah, just anyone just a tad bit less scandalous, But it is what it is. But yeah, I'm back, guys. This is it. I think I really can't say anything else some more on the Oscar nominations here. I wish I had seen The Shape of Water before I recorded this, and even more so Phantom of Fred, because I probably have a lot more to say. But that's all I can really say about the movies that are nominated. Another movie that's nominated for a lot of awards, but they're technical, is Blade Runner 2049, which is pretty awesome. It was a pretty awesome flick. I dug it a lot. It was a tad anticlimactic, but the experience itself was fantastic. And Star Wars: The Last Jedi. Maybe I should address that the controversy around The Last Jedi, because I have not talked about Star Wars at all, and I consider myself a big Star Wars fan, but I can't really talk about it because I haven't seen it yet, and at this point I just dove into the spoilers, so I know everything that happens in it, and I'm not really that enthused to see it. I'll spare you the spoilers here because I don't really. As a person who's never seen it, I don't think it's my right to talk about spoilers. I'll talk about fucking spoilers if I want. It's my show, but I just don't feel like doing it. But wow, it's like I could do an entire episode about the divided reaction to The Last Jedi, but I want to be able to throw in my own 2 cents of the movie. After I experience it, so I'm pretty much shutting myself out for any further Last Jedi coverage until it comes out on Blu-ray in April or something like that, and I'm gonna watch it then, and then I'll have something more to say there. But Star Wars was nominated for a lot of technical awards, as all Star Wars movies usually are. All right, well, let's talk about animated feature film. Okay, so we got 3 movies I never heard of, and Boss Baby and Coco. Okay, so we got Loving Vincent. Don't know what that is. Ferdinand. I don't know what that is. Boss Baby. I do know what that is. And I'm surprised to see it on this list, but I guess they had slim pickings of animated movies this year. But on one of the covers, they mentioned the Lego Batman movie not being nominated, even though it was widely praised and fans loved it. But nope, No Batman. No Lego Batman movie. Mm-mm. So we got the Boss Baby there. Breadwinner. I don't know what the hell the Breadwinner is. I'm gonna have to click on these movies to find out what the hell they are. Usually there's just one movie I never heard of on these. And of course you got Coco that was nominated. And yeah, people love that. I haven't seen it. I have seen most of the Boss Baby. I put it on for my daughter once, and she didn't clamor to watch it again. So I've only seen it half. I only seen half of it really, but I've seen the trailer a bunch of times because that's on the Trolls DVD, and she knows the trailer by heart. But when it comes to the actual movie, I think she tunes out. She was really into it for the first 20 minutes, but then she turned away and played with her toys. Yeah, the thrill was gone. It wasn't the same as the trailer, I guess. Right, but here is something that I should. This is kind of my professional duty to talk about this one. The screenplay nominations. We got The Shape of Water, Three Billboards. Apparently that's very well written. I tried reading it, and it's just that's well written. Okay, cool. I can see how people would think it's well written, but it's not. Okay. Get Out, which is well written. Big Sick, which I have not seen. Have not seen yet, but it's on my list. And Lady Bird. Greta Gerwig. She's having a great year. I just remember her from Greenberg. And was it her in this movie that I tried to watch? Frances Ha, I think. Yeah. I don't know. I suppose she's good, but I wouldn't call myself a fan. I do like Guillermo del Toro, and I have read a portion of the Shape of Water script, and it's very it's very good with the visual descriptions. Yes, very good. Let's see. Let's look for adapted screenplay based on a book or some other medium. You got Mudbound. I think it's on Netflix. I've not watched it. Disaster Artist, which my vote's going to that because it's the only one I've read. Molly's Game. Aaron Sorkin. Of course, you're gonna put Aaron Sorkin on there. Call Me by Your Name. James Ivory. And Logan. I think that's apparently Logan made history as the first comic book movie to be nominated for an Academy Award for Best Screenplay. I think. Yeah, who doesn't nominate The Dark Knight for Best Adapted Screenplay? Well, I guess it wasn't nominated for that. Back in the day, I don't remember, let's see. Yeah, so I would say my bet goes to Get Out, original screenplay, and probably, oh man, Call Me by Your Name will probably win Best Adapted Screenplay because it just sounds like something that it would do. I'm sure it's very, very intelligently written. But we'll see how that goes here. But it's great to it's great to get the ball rolling with the podcast again. I'm going to try to do more episodes coming up, and my wife's home. I'm recording a podcast. Oh no, that's fine. And now I'm closing up shop here. But let's see. Yeah, but I think I said my piece there. Let me see. Alright. I think I'm out of... I have a few minutes left to see if I have anything else to add here. I can't get into the news right now. I can't get in the news, it's crazy. Alright, and quick news. Larry Nassar. Dr. Larry Nassar, sentenced to 175 years in prison for sexual abuse. Isn't that cute? Yeah, he liked to feel up the gymnastic girls. Yeah, he's a real winner there. And oh my, I think 150 girls came out to accuse him, and I'm like, how did this go on for so long? Man, this Olympic gymnast company is really trying to cover its ass, huh? I'm sure they look really bad. Right, oh, here's something I read earlier. The Pope says fake news is satanic and condemns use in politics. Man, that is an exploitable headline. That is a very exploitable headline. Because, Trump could be all over that thing. He's like, yeah, it's satanic fake news, and he'll just level the complaint at CNN or anything else that says something negative about him, which, take with a grain of salt, I suppose. And I guess my only advice there is to be smart and determine what's fake, and appreciate what's fake for being funny. That's my advice as far as fake news is concerned. I mean, fake news begins and ends with the Onion for me, I guess. But there's so many other fake news things that, I guess real news is fake news now. I don't know. I don't know anymore. Like, like anything, I just take everything I read with a grain of salt. It's like, I don't think it's safe to jump to any firm conclusions about anything unless you're in the thick of it. And oh yeah, Toys R Us is going out of business pretty much. Toys R Us close 180 stores across the U.S. Ain't that something? Anyways, how about my friend posted something on Facebook about that. He's like, "Is America great yet?" And it's apparently not. Not when you got when you got Amazon stores which don't even have self-checkout lanes. You just pick out your shit and walk out. And it absolves the need for cashiers, so you don't have to pay those guys. You just have to keep up the equipment. You just need technicians to work on that stuff, and all you need is a limited team for that. So expect more of those stores in the coming years, and expect new ways to make money apart from being a cashier, or try to find new ways. Like, go back to 2010 and invest in cryptocurrency. That's my advice. Yeah, so if you figure out a way to go back in time, go back to 2010, invest $100 in Bitcoin, and go back to 2018 and reap your rewards. Yeah. So if you can find a time machine, make that happen. Alright, guys, I think that's my time. That is Vent. The Return. The Return event. Nick R. Murphy. Let me put on some closing music so we can go about our wonderful day. Good night.